This area along the Delaware River in Hunterdon County will be one of the first flashpoints in the fight to stop the PennEast Pipeline. Bob Rader has lived along the Delaware for 70 years. He and his wife Cindy moved to this location a few years ago. After crossing underneath the Delaware River, the PennEast Pipeline would emerge next to his house.
Talked to him at first, and then we did some research, and then we said, no, you can't come on our property. And they approached us about 3 times beyond that. And so we finally posted the property and notified the local police department. We didn't want PennEast or surveyors or anybody coming onto the property. We were so opposed to the pipeline and the fracking pipelines in general.
Rader says he's attended an informational open house PennEast held on the project.
So they sent me around to the engineers and people like that who failed to answer any of my questions honestly. I knew enough about what was going on that all their answers were really poor.
There are natural rock formations and an isolated small pond on the property.
Where this pipeline comes up out from under the ground is just going to become a very large construction platform in order to accommodate the horizontal drilling that has to happen for this project to cross under the Delaware River.
Even in the dead of winter, you can hear the owls tell the story of the rich biodiversity along the PennEast route. The pipeline will destroy forests, wetlands, and foul important tributaries that flow into the Delaware River. Other pipeline projects have caused long-term harm.
And we're seeing creeks like this, as well as associated wetlands and other really critically important and lovely habitats that are going to be cut through and impacted by this pipeline project. There are many, many families that are going to be directly affected by the PennEast Pipeline project if it's allowed to pass through.
I think it's going to be an absolute environmental disaster, and I think it's going to be a financial disaster both for the property owners and the townships where it's going through. I don't think they're aware of what it's going to do to the net assessed valuation of all the places both along and adjacent to the pipeline, and they're looking at the money that PennEast is going to pay them while they amortize the pipeline. I think they're way off the mark.
It would also cut across farms and private lands many owners have agreed to preserve as open space. Millions of dollars have been spent to protect important habitat.
Here it is, we have all these good stewards of the land, all these good caretakers of the earth, and at this point, who have they been caretaking for? It looks like they've been caretaking for the PennEast Pipeline project, who's going to come through and just rip right through all of these special places in order to make more profits for themselves.
If completed, the easement could be used for additional pipelines.
The pipelines that are cutting through our watershed today are to service the shale gas extraction fields that are happening out in central and western Pennsylvania. That is inflicting so much harm on so many communities and is becoming a very significant source of methane, a very serious contributor to climate change.
Experts say the Marcellus shale gas transported via pipeline can also be carrying radon.
In the Marcellus shale, which is much closer to New York and Philadelphia, it doesn't have time to decay away and it would be released into a person's home. That's of concern.
Many of the properties have been owned by several generations of families.
It seems pretty un-American to me that they could get eminent domain to bring fracking pipelines through New Jersey. I am absolutely aghast at it.